everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to the Division 2. And in this one, we've got a bit of a new mystery brewing over in Brooklyn, and so I want to break it all down and let you know some of my thoughts. Something I do want to let you know right off the top here is that what we are going to be looking at in this video could be a yet uncovered secret in the new DLC, but it could also very well be cut content that the developers do not intend to bring to the game that we were never meant to see, and that's for reasons that we'll discuss. So I say that so that hopefully you all can temper your expectations accordingly. Also, I did want to let you all know that we are briefly going to look at some data mined info in this video. Now, normally I like to avoid using any of that in my content. I really don't enjoy the current trend that we have in this community of people basically spoiling all of the upcoming narrative events and the different rewards that we're going to get from stuff. However, the one that we're going to look at in this video is not so much as a spoiler for any future stuff, more than it just illuminates kind of the current situation, and so I thought it was appropriate to use that information in this one isolated use, but just wanted to let you know that that is going to be included as we go through here. So, with all of that down, we're going to get right to it. If you enjoy this video and you want to stay tuned for if we get further updates on this and to see everything else on The Division 2, then be sure to click that subscribe button if you've not already. I have to take a quick moment to shout out and thank our channel members for your continued support. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm greatly appreciative. But alright, without further ado, let's get to this. Alright, so this new and developing secret in Brooklyn revolves around what are known as infrastructure keycards. Now, I first became aware of this whole thing while I was streaming the other day, and as I was going around exploring the Brooklyn map, I was guided to two huge underground areas in the DLC that are, as of right now, suspiciously empty. The first one is in the Dumbo zone just underneath the Manhattan Bridge, in this location right here. Once you're in this alley, you'll see a door here that you're able to open up. Inside this very ominous open hole that you can climb down. Once you do so, you find yourself in a sewer tunnel, and if you follow it, you end up in this vast, highly detailed room. Now, there is one audio log that you get to collect in here, but otherwise, this place is completely empty, and so far unused for pretty much any content in the DLC, which, given how limited of an amount of space that they have in Brooklyn to put stuff in, that's very weird. That's not all though. Like I said, there is then another one in Brooklyn Heights. This one is on Hicks Street between Madog and Cranberry. Here you'll find this coffee shop, and again, if you go to the very back, you're able to open the door. You can then descend down into some service tunnels, and you enter into a similarly large, detailed, empty room. And again, it's just very weird. Time was taken to detail and flesh out these spaces, and yet they serve no purpose. I don't believe that even, open world activities or bounties can spawn down in these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they can. So the existence of those rooms are interesting enough on their own, right? But that is not the end of this mystery. Another side of this that people started picking up on is the fact that as they were playing through the DLC, they were looting these things known as infrastructure keycards. Now, to my knowledge, at this point in time, the only way in which you can be awarded some of these things is from some challenging tier bounties. Not all of them, because I have some in my current bounty roster that do not award these keys, but I was able to play through a few that did award them to me. Unfortunately, I didn't think to grab a picture at the time, but this image from user Zorani, hope I'm saying that right, over on Reddit, and we're going to come back to this person and their post in a few minutes, but as you can see from their bounty rewards, they were given 3 infrastructure keycards. Now, if and when you go and collect some of these, they do show up within your inventory resource pouch. They're highlighted in gold here, and their description reads, keycard used to access Brooklyn City infrastructure. Now, here's the thing. So far, no one has found a use for these keycards, right? And you can stack all the way up to 999 of them. So, you may then wonder, what is the correlation then between these empty rooms that we looked at and these keycards? Well, as of right now, nothing is confirmed yet. However, one other wrinkle to this is that if you open up your map and you go over to the legend, there's a new node that has appeared as of this latest update under the missions tab that reads secure infrastructure, and next to it is an icon of a ladder heading down a manhole. So this is a small leap, absolutely, but the thinking right now is these two rooms are unused yet highly detailed underground spaces, and at the same time, we have these unknown use keycards pointing towards some kind of underground objective, activity, something, right? Overall, very mysterious and very weird. Now, I did mention that we would be looking at some data mined info in this video, and that is because the same user over on Reddit, Zorny, made a post inquiring about these mysterious keycards and shared this information. The real update and explanation, Arno FPS from the Division Secrets Discord took a look at the files, and this is the result. They said, I took a look into the game files and there are two mission types which might be related to it. One Riker's underground mission called the Substation, and one Cleaner's underground mission called the Reservoir. Okay, now quick pause. Do those names sound familiar or draw up any imagery in your mind? Yeah, these are the two rooms that we just looked at. Both of these are underground, as the file stated. The name Substation certainly fits the bill for the room in Brooklyn Heights. This one is filled with a lot of Riker imagery. There's a lot of computer terminals and other machinery. Meanwhile, Reservoir also perfectly fits the Dumbo room. There's a waterfall, there's all these water and aquatic elements, and this one has stronger Cleaners imagery. Alright, wanted to point that out, but let's continue. They go on to say there are even commendation patches for it. These include Year 7 Season 1 Secure Infrastructure Sprinter Commendation, Challenger Commendation, Tactical Commendation, Hardcore Survivor Commendation, and Targets Commendation. They say it seems to be a part of the open world, like a random event that can spawn if you liberate the whole area. I remember that Yannick mentioned in one stream that they're going to change or add stuff into the open world. That can be it. But either it's not implemented fully yet because there are only localization files for it in English and the commendations are not visible, or it's scrapped content. Alright, so again, highly interesting. I want to mainly focus on the last part there because, to be honest with you all, if I were to put $5 on this, my guess would be is that what we are finding in the game right now, and the files here, is some form of cut content. This person references the mention of open world additions to the game. Those were listed in the Year 7 trailer that we got. However, Yannick mentioned on the most recent developer Q&A stream that whatever their plans are for that, it's not really going to be a new game mode, rather a new open world feature, as he called it. And maybe that would fit what we're seeing here, but an activity with a dedicated name like infrastructure and commendations related to it, that sounds much more like a mode than a feature to me. I don't know. And also, if they were hiding some kind of new activity in the DLC right now, or something that they had planned to be adding to it soon, it would be very odd to exclude that from the marketing campaign for this entire thing, as that likely would have been a pretty big selling point. So my best guess right now is that they designed these underground areas, had cool plans for them, and then, either because of budget, timelines, technical limitations, whatever reason, meant that they unfortunately had to scrap it, but in the process they kept these rooms because they were a part of the world already, but then tried to scrub everything else. This is why we have the weird note on the legend that doesn't tie to anything. These are why these keys are only being awarded from some challenging tier bounties, right? Overall, everything about this is just odd. However, before we close this out, if you wanted one shred of hope that maybe this is going to lead to some kind of content that we've yet to discover, an intriguing moment did occur recently while a friend of the channel, Splinter Shield, was streaming over on Twitch. What happened was that he actually stumbled across one of these underground rooms, and at the time, the Division 2's new game director was in the chat. His handle, as you'll see on the side here, is Beerzy, and firstly, you'll see that while Splinter is walking around this room and making remarks about it,
like this is like a boss map or a boss arena or something.
He says, chat, stop looking at this place. And then, a few minutes later, after the conversation has gone on a little bit, he has a message that ends with big stuff changes. You'll be surprised about new stuff. I will leave a link to Splinter's Twitch channel in the description. Be sure to go him some love, and thank you for his permission to show this clip here in the video. Does the Division 2's game director's comment here confirm that something is going on? No, they do not. And I personally am not going to get my hopes up, but this is certainly evidence worth weighing and considering, right? Especially if you are somebody who is really on the hunt here. But that is just about all I have for this story for right now, folks. I did want to let you know that I will leave a link to Zorny's Reddit thread and the Division 2 Secrets Discord down in the description. Both of those places have people that are actively looking into this overall mystery, in case you want to be a part of that. And if you do happen to have any info, clues, or insight about this whole thing, let me know down in the comments below. Do you really think this entire infrastructure keycard empty room thing is going to lead to something? Is it all just vaporware? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. This was a fun video to make though, y'all. I appreciate you watching if you made it till the end. I'll catch you back soon, but until then, RogueGold. Out.